Hey FlossTube, this is Tara with Wilda Woman Crafts and welcome to 2025 and my 2024 WIP parade. I am very excited to film this. I am back in town. I typically don't film mine until early January, so here we are. I have an appointment to head to in about an hour, so I am ready to bang this out. But quickly, because I know 'tis the season of WIP parades and checking out new folks. My name is Tara. Like I said, I live with my partner and our big orange cat Fozzie in Atlanta, Georgia. And I cross stitch. Wow, that was so informative. This is a channel about cross stitch. I do dabble in some of the other fiber arts, such as knitting and crochet. You'll see those pop around. I've done some of those Wooble kits. I just finished a big double knitted scarf, my first. And I have another one on the horizon. You'll see if you stick around for the channel this year. And yeah, I like to, I feel like I am maybe a kind of more of the middle of the road stitcher in that I like to have a good number of WIPs. I'm not really upset at where my WIP count is at now, which it currently stands at 22 works in progress or WIPs. But I do like everything that I stitch, I want to see done. So I do feel that I'm a little bit more of a on the sliding scale of process to project stitcher. Process being you're not really so worried about the finish, you're just enjoying the process, and project being like you maybe at the far end that's like a monogamous stitcher. Like I want this item, so I'm gonna start it and I'm gonna stitch it till it's done. It's gonna go on the wall and then I'll pick another one. So I would say I'm more on the project side. I do want things hung up. Last year in particular, I participated in Jessie Marie Does Stuff's WIP Go for the first time, which is like a bingo board, but I didn't put works in progress on my WIP Go board. I put a combination mostly of things that I wanted to fully finish to motivate me to do that, and a couple of like small series. I put those like new starts in the series as well, like something that I had already stitched once. And also I got distracted by my earrings here. I have these little National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation moose mug earrings that I got for Christmas, and I didn't get to show them in my haul vlogs I did last month because I got them Christmas morning, so we're just gonna pretend it's still December for a little bit. That technically I think it's the 12th day of Christmas that I'm filming this today, so it's still appropriate. Anyway, back to my projects. So it's kind of an interesting year this year. I picked up stitching. I'm a pandemic stitcher. I started in July 2020, had some, prior dabbling before that, but July 2020 is when I did a couple monogamous project, and then I believe, if my timeline is correct, like January 2021 is when I discovered FlossTube, and all hell broke loose at that point. So it's only escalated from there. But this year I think was kind of an interesting mix of stitching for me, because I do tend to stitch previously, I would say, stuff that's more on the small medium side. I have my Bird Crush Club birds from Lindy Stitches up here. That was awesome. But this year I picked out some bigger projects, and not only that, I went to my first in-person cross stitch retreat. I went to StitchCon, and then I followed that up with going to the Black Needle Society's in-person retreat, which is known as camp. And then I also ended up going to Stitch North at the end of the year, and I ended up having these starts at in-person retreats with my friends, and they are sad starts, which is not usually my MO. So it's kind of an interesting mixed bag we have here, and hopefully I have enticed you enough to check it out. So we got 22 projects to go through, and without further ado, I'm gonna try to show bags, because also I feel like in this past year I have a lot of bags that are like from friends now, which is really exciting. And I mean, not that I don't want to show off ones that I've bought, but it's just like extra special that people have made stuff for me. So I'm gonna work oldest to newest. So this is my oldest project, and it is living in this stash and stitch bag, I believe, that I made. And this chart is a hands-on designs chart that I stitched, and then I purchased the finishing kit I'm not gonna bother remember. I don't remember exactly what the shop is, but if you want to know, I'm pretty sure you can still get this pattern and stuff. So this is my one and only Heaven and Earth Designs chart. This is the Astronomer by Myles Pinkney. And, you know, I will be honest, like with the introduction of AI to the Heaven and Earth Designs artist pool last year, I don't really think this is gonna, I don't really see myself doing another Heaven and Earth Designs basically, but this was a start in 2022 when there were no AI artists. But I don't know, just wanted to put that out there. Sorry if we're starting off spicy. So here's this chart. It was my 30th birthday start. So this was started September 4th, 2022. It currently stands at 4.8% complete. And because I just put this PowerPoint together, I have all these numbers to hand. It has 174,881 stitches remaining. I did stitch on this some last year, but I really didn't have any dedicated goals. So I am hoping to have more of a concentrated effort on this year. This is stitched with the called for DMC. It is the max color. So there are 200 colors, which I am regretting to some extent. And I'm stitching it on 25 count 1/1 full cross, because I also thought that that was important to me, and I do like the look of the full cross, and I'm gonna stick with it, but we got a long way to go. And that's the only one that's gonna be in the Q snap, because there's no point in taking that out. So okay, next up, get my board here, I have and then some of these older ones I have the paper charts. My next oldest chart is Life Potion by Forbidden Fiber Co. This was one I really thought I would have finished this past year, but alas. Here's where it is. And oh yeah, I meant to say, you would have seen a picture, but for the starts that were in my WIP parade last year, there are only 4. They're not starts. For the works in progress that were works in progress last year, I have before photos, which will be there. So you would have seen where it was January for, you know, for my WIP parade last year. So here's the photo of this one last year. I also have more hanging threads on my WIPs this year than I expected, but whatever. So yeah, this is where we are. In 2024, I did defeat this cauldron finally. And then I started getting some of the lettering in, and I made the executive decision. I am not stitching this candle. I refuse. I was doing some math because Forbidden Fiber Co. puts stitch count of individual colors on the back. So I was actually looking at it last night, and this candle is like 4,500 stitches, and I simply refuse. So I will be cutting it at the text, so I only have the text left, and so there's no reason to not get this done this year. This is definitely a priority piece for the year. And so since it is a paper chart and I'm actually working off the paper chart, I don't know what percent it's at, but I am ballparking that I have maybe about 1,000 stitches left. And this is stitched on 40 count Sanderson by Forbidden Fiber Co. This was in a box. So love that for me. And then hopefully I have my bags in order. So I'm hoping to just kind of like stuff them in their bags as we go. So that's one less thing for me when I am done to rehouse all these. So this, like I said, it was a kit. So it's in the Forbidden Fiber Co. bag that came with it. Okay, next up is, so that is my only 2 starts from 2022. Now we're in the 2023 starts. So this is Tea Glasses by 8 Pixel. They just have a random website. I will show you where it was this time last year. So I did put some good stitching into this year. It's about 41.5% complete. I do have this as a PDF. However, I'm not gonna stitch, hopefully you've seen the whole pattern. I need to remember on the digital ones. If you've seen the whole pattern, I'm not gonna stitch the background. We dyed the fabric to accomplish that. So approximately, I took out what I think are all the background stitches. So I think I have about 7,100 stitches left on this, and it's for about 41% complete. This is another one. Like, kind of like, I want to knock out all these, like, I like having things that are not too old, but I'm stitching this on a 16 count Aida that was hand dyed by my friend and I. This is a piece I'm stitching for my friend, so I would love for her to have it. I have had some high emotions with this, but you know, it does look so good. It was nice to get to like a far enough point this year to like really see how well the illusion like works, because when you're stitching it, there's just so many color changes, it looks like nothing. But it does look really good, so I would love to get that done for her. And that's all the called for DMC. And this is living in a Gilmore Girls bag from the Black Needle Society, because I feel like it's my summary piece. Awesome. Okay, next up, another sad start. And this is my last like 2023 WIP. So everything else past this point will be 2024. So this is, oh yeah, I do have the paper chart for this. I gotta get in the rhythm here. This is Frosty Winter Mouse in a House by Just Nan. So it is stitched in 7 parts. So there are the 4 walls, the base, that's 5, the rug on the inside is 6, and then the mouse is 7. So I have finally recharted this into a digital format, which is what I prefer. And this is the only WIP that I had last year that I did not put stitches into, so it looks exactly the same as it did a year ago. But that's okay. This is another one I'm hoping to focus on this year. I started it December 9th, 2023, and it is about 16% complete and has about 2,800 stitches remaining for the house. That does not include the mouse. But I'm feeling inspired. I just saw Hillary of Subpar Stitches do her little bride and groom mouse, and they're so cute. And if she can assemble it, then I know I can assemble this, because I think that's a little bit of the block that it's like, oh, when I finish stitching it, it's gonna look like nothing. I'm gonna have to fully finish it. And this is stitched on 32 count Basalt Splash Lugana by Zweigart. Yeah, Zweigart. Yay. And this is, I was doing some bag rearranging as I was planning this out. This is living in a bag I received as a table gift from the Hathaway Stitchers at Stitch North. It's got this gorgeous snake and Animal Crossing print inside. I love it. Erin and Amity. Okay. Now we're into the 2024 starts. So everything is less than a year old as of this moment, but a lot of these are going to see a first birthday, that's for sure. So first up is Armchair Ornithologist, which, excuse me, I have the paper chart of this one as well. I'm just imagining you're seeing my notes on screen and you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you don't. This is Armchair Ornithologist by Lindy Stitches. You can buy this now, but this was a freebie that was included if you were a club member of the Bird Crush Club. So all 12 Bird Crush birds are featured in this chart, which freaking kills me because obviously I'm a big fan. So I started this, and I am using all the called for colors of DMC, and you won't see this now, I did pull a different color for the sweatshirt and for the hair, so it looks a little closer, it will look a little closer to me, and like a sweatshirt that I own basically. And I love this one. So this is stitched on 32 count ballet slipper by Fox and Rabbit. I started it on February 21st of 2024. It is 15% complete, and I have about 5,400 stitches remaining, if that's of interest. But I really like it, and I already did the back stitching on the little bunting. It's so cute. I love the colors. It's so good. I was like, the problem is that like everything, I'm like, this is gonna be a 2025 finish, which may be possible if I actually stay on top of myself and commit to my pattern no buy and try not to get wrangled into a bunch of new starts. I really want to focus on what I have. Because like I said, I like my number of WIPs. I'm just ready for them to be all different. Is that a feeling anyone else has? Or it's like, I'm not mad about 22 WIPs. I just would be excited if they were all 22 new WIPs. Okay, and this is living in my first and only Stitch and Go case from the Golden Familiars. Excuse me. I love it with this little cryptid floral pattern, and we went with the like plaid on the inside. So fun. Okay. Next up, another one that is so far from finishing territory, but that's a-okay. Just grab the pattern picture here for you. So this was a birthday gift that I received from a sweet friend from college, and she custom ordered a picture of my cat, whose name is Fozzie, and so he is with his Muppet Fozzie there. So I have dubbed this Fozzie and Fozzie. So creative. It is a custom stamped cross stitch. And you can kind of see, you know, at this distance, like here's my cat's face, and like here's the Muppet Fozzie's mouth, and like his shorts. So I have only done a little bit. And I, you know, my numbers on this are not exact. I mean, obviously I can, you know, figure out exactly how many stitches are in there, but I am, you know, clicker counting, which is, you know, touch and go. So by my math, I think I'm about 1.2% done, and that there's about 47,800 stitches left. No big deal. No big deal. This one I definitely don't have any like specific goals on, but again, I think the goal just being, I want to see major progress, because there was not a lot of progress like at all. Like I was gonna say within the past year, but it was started in February. So, and this was my leap day start. I started on February 29th. So I am hoping to have that finished within 4 years. So maybe a good goal would be 25%. And this is in my Quilt Junkie bag. Jenny, she made this for me. And as the time I'm filming this, she just started her, I don't know if I want to commit her to floss tube, because she does do so much like quilting and other stuff, but there is cross stitch in there for sure. She is a stitcher. But anyway, so the Quilt Junkie on YouTube, I'll link her. She's got a new channel now. We're very excited. Yeah, so cute. So anyway, yeah, this bag from her. And that is that start. Next up, I have this gorgeous piece from Stitchy Prose that came out last year, Cardinal's Promise. Says, yeah, when you see a cardinal, know this promise is true. I'm never far away and always here with you. I got this as a kind of a memorial for my maternal grandmother, who will have passed 10 years ago in March, which is crazy to think about, but I'm kind of stitching this piece for my mom and for me, but I think it's going to live with my mom when I'm done. I am using the called for cottage garden threads, and I'm stitching this on a 32 count gray from someone. I don't remember. You can always ask me, but it's some, I remember it doesn't have like a specific color, but it's a 36 count. And I'm stitching this over 2 with 2 threads. I'm doing it 2 over 2. I had a little bit of a debate about it, but I like a puffy stitch, so this is 2 over 2. Yeah, called for threads, all that jazz. Another one, hoping for a finish this year. Got a lot of stuff to do. I have that I started it on April 11th, which is my grandmother's birthday. It is 5.8% complete, and I have a little under 7,000 stitches remaining. These things are possible. You just have to focus. And this is living in my first Judy bag. I think it's like Bags by Judy. She has a Facebook group where she sells these, but it's got this very cute Charlie Harper print on it. I love. And she does this cute little like label thing where you can like write what's in here and, you know, just kind of like peek without having to get all the way into the bag. And I used a little like sticker maker I have to I'm gonna keep a record of everything that's lived in this bag. So it used to be Felicity the Lobster, and right now it's Cardinal's Promise. Very fun. Okay. I feel like I am not delivering this in a consistent way, but we're all having a good time. Next up is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Arctic Friend SAL. I will put a picture up of where it currently is. I'm behind. Yeah. Here's where I'm at. Not where the piece is at all. So this is still an active stitch along. The last piece, there will be a piece released, I'm assuming in a couple days, and then February and March will be the last piece. So my goal for this is to catch up before the March release, to finish it when the last release comes out. And that is gonna be a number of stitches. So honestly, probably need to get to this when we are done here. Yeah. Freaking adorable. I love my fabric choice. I went different from the called for. I'm using Under the Seas Hamlet. This is 16 count Aida, and it is a opal, as I'm sure you can tell. It's very sparkly. I love it. And I'm using the called for DMC, and I did buy, there are some specialty threads in this one, and I did purchase those when the Stitch Along was announced. So I think there's like a glow in the dark and stuff, but I wouldn't know because I'm behind. So this is living in just a Container Store KonMari collab bag. Not very exciting, but I do have the little narwhal scissor fob on here. So yeah, I don't really have stitch count on that because I've not even uploaded the latest thing, but it's fine. It's fine. And that was started on May 9th. I can do this. I can keep track of all these things. Okay, next up, this is a digital one. I started Beach Rat at StitchCon, #BeachRatSAL, and started this with a bunch of friends. And I think all of us are gunning to have this done by StitchCon this year because we're all going again. So I have to do a little more stitching on it. It's fine. I started this June 8th, 2024 during StitchCon. It is 11.2% complete. I am going to do the letters. Some folks are not. And I have about 6,300-ish stitches remaining. That's fine. I am using the called for on this and called for threads, and the fabric is Fiber on a Whim Caramel Macchiato, and this is 36 count, also 2/2, 36 count linen. I love this color. I got this nice little offcut at Keepsakes while I kitted that up at StitchCon, so very fun. My first StitchCon, or my first Keepsakes purchase. And that is living in this bird bag that I made. And there is a matching one that my Montana friend has that has a different colored zipper. So we have matching bags. Next up, this is the other abysmal, this is the first of the like abysmal starts. So this is Petty by Lucy Beam. So this was another little stitch along we started. I stitched on it like one strand Saturday morning or Sunday morning before we left. So yeah, by Lucy Beam. And there are 4 in this series. So there's like Petty, Bitter, Stubborn, and Envious, I believe. So I'm stitching Petty, and boy howdy, that is one singular strand. That is one singular strand. Your eyes do not deceive you. It's such a sad, sad start. But it is a small chart, so that's still 2.4% complete. And I have about 2,400 stitches remaining. This was a start on June 9th, as I said, the Sunday of StitchCon. And this was a new to me fabric I purchased there. This is Millennial Fabrics in the color Wanderlust 40 count linen. So I am stitching this with 1 strand over 2, and I could totally knock this out. I could totally knock this out. It would simply require me to get it out and stitch on it. And that, you know, sometimes that really is the rub when it comes to these, is you must simply get it out and work on it. So this is living in this adorable little kind of like book sleeve project bag by Marjorie Made here on YouTube, and I got this at StitchCon from her. I love this fabric. Yay. So that is another one that I'm hoping to finish by StitchCon 2025. I don't need it languishing. Okay, next up is the digital one. We have Autumn Night Alphabet by Owl Forest Embroidery. This was a big one. This is the first one where I allowed myself, I feel like just normally I don't tend to gravitate, or well, I like these big charts, but I never was like, no, I'm actually gonna do it. Until this one. And so I am doing the Cyrillic alphabet version because my partner is Bulgarian. So the language of Bulgarian uses the Cyrillic alphabet. So I thought that was fun to, because I've never really done an alphabet sampler, but Cyrillic I thought was very cool. And it's very Halloween-y, which is very fun. There's just a lot that I love about this chart. So I started this with my friend Jennifer the Frog Stitcher on Instagram. And we started at the Black Needle Society retreat together. And she is, of course, much farther along than me. If you follow her, you know that lady put some stitches in some projects. But I did get the Owl Forest threads for this. And I want to get major progress on this year because I just love it so much. But there is also, I was going to say, there is a Latin alphabet version as well if you like this, but you don't have the, connection to the Cyrillic alphabet. So anyway, yeah, this is my start. This is a couple hundred stitches, but this is a big, big chart. It doesn't maybe look that big, but it is like, I don't know, 300 something tall. So I am 1.9% complete and I have about 34,000 stitches left. So just a few. And I purchased this fabric at StitchCon as well. This is also Fiber on a Whim, 36 count linen, and the color Cobblestone. And I love it for this. But as you can see, I will say, I got a fat half, which is a little overkill. It probably is one of those, like, it would have fit with very tight margins on a fat quarter. And I just decided I was not going to be in the business of ruining my life by getting to a point where I realized I didn't have enough room. And this is living in my first Lynn X Stitches Creates bag that I got this year. Got these cute witchy teapots and this cute little fob. I think this is from StitchCon. Very cute. Very spooky. Okay. Next up is this year's birthday start. So this is Tiny Modernist's Moths and the Moon. And we did a SAL for this, Marjorie and I. And so it is hashtag mothsovermanymoonsSAL. I know we can't follow hashtags anymore, but you can still search them and look at them. So please, feel free to keep using them or tag me if you want to start this or have started this. I love, surprisingly, you would think with all the colors in this that, I don't know, it wouldn't look good on everything, but so far it looks good on everything. I've seen people pull some very fun fabrics and they all look fantastic. So Moths and the Moon, which I think Amy of the Thread Gremlins already banged hers out, and she used she did some color converting. It's incredible. So if you're not watching the Thread Gremlins, you should definitely go check that out. Here's mine. Not done. Not done at all, but some progress. So here's mine. I chose this very brown swampy color. This is Fox and Rabbit. Oh, yikes. It doesn't have a tag. I don't remember. We can figure this out if you need to know. But this is a Fox and Rabbit 36 count as well. I kind of went more in the 36 count zone. And this is my start on it. So I started this on my birthday, like I said, September 4th, 2024. I am 17.1% complete and I have about 5,300-ish stitches left. Yeah, I love this. And I initially was regretting everything. It's 36 and I did again do 2/1 in the called for DMC. but I had a much better time when I finally got this under light and magnification. Let's put it that way. I don't usually have to stitch with light and magnification. Like daylight works for me at this time in my life, but I had a much better time stitching on this under light and magnification. That's for dang sure. So I will continue to do that in the new year. So this one loosely would love to have, you know, done before my next birthday, but we'll see. And this is living in the most perfect bag from Erin of the Hathaway Stitchers that I mooched at StitchCon. It's a moth bag. And Erin does the little like pocket to protect your pattern from the vinyl. Is perfect. Lovely. Okay, moving right along. Next big start where I was like, girl, are you for real? But I love it. I love it. I want it done. It's gonna be great. This is Autumn Lane Stitchery's, which is hollow. Is big. It's another big one. It's 140 by 196, and I think the big rub is that like this is all full coverage up here. That's a bummer. But it's fine. This was originally released in their Halloween box 2 years ago, which I got, but it is now available for purchase, for PDF purchase. So here is my start, and this one does have a thread on that. Just kind of dangle this out of the way, you don't mind, right? So this is my start on that, on this absolutely electric orange. This is Jackson Fabric Arts, 32 count cross stitch linen in Seoul. And if you're unfamiliar with Jackson Fabric Arts on Etsy, it is a hemp linen. So it is very soft. It is a little bit of a different experience, but I quite like it. And I love this color. It's amazing. So I started this on September 13th of last year. I am 6.9% complete, and I got about 20,400-ish stitches left. These tens of thousands of stitches remaining is kind of new to me, but it's fine. It's fine. We love it. They're gonna be fantastic. And like I said, huge if true, if you keep stitching on it, it will get done. Just have to keep reminding ourselves of that, right? So this is living in a bag made for me, so perfect coloring, right, of Chandria of Chandria Carol Stitches. I adore this. She gave this to me the first time we ever met in person. Amazing. Okay, we're going. Okay, next up. So I did pretty good. I had a couple of year-long stitch-alongs last year, and this is one of those, part of one of those. So Katie Landis of the Black Needle Society had a celebrate all year stitch along. So every month there was a national holiday or observance that is maybe not what you think. Like July was not 4th of July and December was not Christmas, even though it was kind of adjacent, but you know, October was not Halloween, that kind of thing. So like a little bit more obscure, those weird things that you see circulate on the new, like on Facebook or something, and you're like, this isn't a real holiday. They are. So I did almost all of them. 2 of them I did not. And one of those I haven't even started yet. But the one I have started, the sad start, this is National Velociraptor Awareness Month, which was September's holiday observance. And I don't even know if this is the right way up. It doesn't really matter. Here it is. Yeah. Pam and Steph they talk about liking to see things up close, but I'm like, do you really? Anyway, so yeah, this is nothing. This is stitched on the called for, which is Riviera Aqua by Witchelt, and I have complained about this before. I hate this fabric. It's so beautiful though. So I'm going to power through and finish this because it's the last one. I did the other 2 that were on here, so I will not fail myself. I could do this one more time. So this was a start on September 26th. I am 3.4% complete, and I have about 2,100 stitches left. And my goal is to finish this before September, so like the month that it should be displayed, because I've been really good about like fully finishing these, and I have my little display on my desk, so I want to be able to like enjoy them as we go. And this is living in an 805 Stitcher, a fellow Terra bag, which has this cute little frog. It says "Rip It, Rip It." So cute, that we got in a nice list box from B&S. Amazing. Okay, next up was a start with some friends, some Stitchy friends, and we all started Silver Creek Samplers Izzie Dekayen, which is a pun, obviously. So it says Izzie Dekayen Booze and Spirits Casket Aged. Very hilarious. This is in, which I realize I haven't really been saying colors because everything that's not special has been called for DMC. I'm a DMC lady for the most part. So, yes. Okay, back to Izzie. So Izzie is also stitched in the called for DMC. And here he is. So this is on Fiber on a Whim's Cafe au Lait, 32 count linen. And yeah, I am, this was also a September 26th start, because I think I was stitching the Velociraptor and we had scheduled to get on a call to start this, and I low-key forgot. So I had to pivot quickly. So this is 22.4% complete, and I have about 3,400 stitches remaining. So I think this will be doable to get done for this Halloween season this year. And it's just hilarious. I enjoy it a lot. Okay, let's pack this up. So, and we're in talks of doing the other one. I've seen a lot of people do, what is it? It was like until, like, I love you until death or something. And this is living in my other, one of my other 805 Stitcher bags. Very vintage Halloween. Amazing. So next up is my last in this series, and I just need to finish it. It's so small. You're gonna laugh at the end here on these like sad starts on these small projects. But I have been working for a couple years now on Hands-On Designs Fright This Way, or sorry, The Witch's Pantry, which is in the Fright This Way series. There are two colorways for this. There's like the primitive palette and then the chalky palette. I've been working in the chalky palette. So I have fully finished the hands. I have finished stitching the eyes, and my work in progress is the toads, warts and all. And this is in the class, the called for Classic Colorworks. Yep, Classic Colorworks. And I believe on the called for fabric, actually. So here this is. I actually think I was farther than this, but then I made a mistake, and so I ripped it out and then put it down. But at least I ripped it out first. So this is 11.2% complete. I started it on September 30th, and I have about 1,200 stitches left. They're just not that big. And this is stitched on 32 count chalkboard by Fabrics by Stephanie. It's definitely a Fabrics by Stephanie, but I'm not, I feel like I always get the, it's not the called for, but it's a Fabrics by Stephanie. I think it's chalkboard. Hands-On Design uses Fabrics by Stephanie a lot, so I think that's why I always assume that that is the called for, but it's actually not. And this is living in this very cute little small scrap bag that I also got from Jenny of the Quilt Junkie. Zip it close here. And she stitched my name on the top. Very cute. She gave me a little pig. She owns a little mini pig. So cute. This cute little Star Wars fabric. Yay. Oop. Okay. Next up, another one. This one is not a sad start. This was started on October 1st, and this is Jack's Stamp Collection by Katie Landis of the Black Needle Society. And this is a companion piece to Santa's Stamp Collection, which I have finished and got to enjoy on display this year. Yeah, now I gotta get this one. So this was like kind of a surprise release October 1st, and I made a good start at it, but I did fall off but that's okay. So this is another, this is a focus piece for me this year that I want to have done before October so I can enjoy it. Because these really like are pretty quick to stitch. It's very like blocky stitching. So I'm gonna get back into this. This is stitched on 32 count hydrangea by Fiber on a Whim, which came in a box, and I'm using all the called for DMC. So you can see some of these stamps are filled in, but yeah, so I'm gonna start doing a weekly stitch count goal on this to get it done by October. So loving that. I'll get you in here. I love this color on the fabric. Oh, so good. So cute. I love it. Okay, and yeah, this is 20% complete, but has 12,800 stitches for me. So I made a concerted effort. It just was not enough. I had hoped to like get the outline of the stamps done like by the end of October, but as you can see, that was not what ended up happening. And this is living in my Tulip Pink Dinosaur project folder by my friend from grad school, who, if you are new around these parts, she goes under the moniker Montana Friend. So Montana Friend made me this year. I love it. And I think I have another little bag from her sitting in my mailbox, which I need to open. Yay. Okay. Ooh, there's some good Halloween starts this year. So next up is Monster House by Satsuma Street. This was a stitch along. I did not start when the stitch along started. I'm pretty sure maybe the last piece was revealed by the time that I actually got it started, which is not usual for me. Normally I like to really stitch as stitch alongs go, but we're encouraging flexibility. So this is fully released now, but I am on part 1. I'm almost on part 1. So this is where I'm at here. I am stitching with the called for DMC so far. We'll see if I end up doing some embellishing as we go. But this is a 32 count linen from Laura's Fabrics in the color Flamingo, which I got in a box as well. Yeah, I'm loving it. I love these colors. I'm obsessed with this project. I had to hold myself back from starting this because I had other goals I wanted to get done. And I was so happy when I finally got to start it, but I was still busy. So this is, 10.3% complete and has about 12,800 stitches left. Like I said, all these double-digit stitches remaining. It's a lot to think about. So we're just gonna chill and enjoy stitching on what we have. This is in my final 805 stitcher bag. Also kind of a vintagey vibe. Okay, we are getting there. So next up, this is, again, it's such a small piece. It really should not have probably remained a WIP into the new year, but alas. So I got extremely into the Magnus Archives at the end of 2023 and into 2024, which is a podcast that is fully released and was released a long time ago. I was kidding. And sorry, just my little intro about it. It is a podcast. It is a horror podcast. If you want to hear me gush about it more, would love to talk you into it. It's so good. It's like a serialized thing. So you got to start at episode 1 and listen all the way through. It's incredible. But for the sake of if anyone is interested or in the process, I conned a few floss tubers into starting it this past year, which I'm thrilled about. And I think several of them want to stitch a couple of these too. There are not a ton of Magnus Archives cross-stitch pieces, but I found a Ko-fi shop where someone had made a set that is related to the podcast. And that's, if you have more questions, I am happy to talk to you about it, but I don't want to gush about it when maybe you don't care. And maybe you're interested, and in that case, I don't want to explain it to you because you need to listen to it to understand. Anyway, so here's the chart. It's this little, they're almost like tarot card sized in a way. So it says statement begins. And I started this at Stitch North late at night, and I was not having, it's kind of one of those like, there's just very short little color changes, which is gonna look great when it's done, but it was just a little too annoying to be stitching in a hotel lobby at like 11 o'clock at night. But I started this at Stitch North this year, October 26th. It is 7.8% complete, and I have about 1,100 stitches left. So again, not big, need to get back to it. And I'm stitching this on 18 count black Aida, called for DMC, 2 strands. And this is living in my first ever Kaylee 10 stitch bag, or sorry, the sewingshop.ca is her shop. Kaylee, her name is Kaylee, and I think this is Kaylee 10 stitch. There's a Kaylee cross stitch and a Kaylee 10 stitch. I think this is Kaylee 10 stitch, but very cute. Love it, love it. Love the Halloween, if you can't tell. Amazing. We only got a couple left, y'all. You're doing so good. We're both doing so good. Okay, there's another. It's a sad start, y'all. Okay, so this is Candy Apple House by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. This is a chart that we, my table and I decided was going to be our stitch along for Stitch North. And so basically she has a series of several houses. There's like the houses of Pumpkin Lane, which there's 9 in there. And then there's like a wintry one. And then there's a spring one, I believe. There's like one season that's yet to be done, but there's 9 houses in each. So there's lots to choose from right now if you want to join us. Cause I think it's hashtag HousesofSALLane, I believe. Anyway, I haven't stitched anything on this. I started it, I stitched it in Canada, so it counted as a start in Canada. That's all I got. And I did kit this up with a couple of the Roxy Floss Co. flosses in like the table I was at. We worked on a conversion because Roxy Floss is not the called for, but obviously Stitch North is hosted by Evertone Roxy Floss Co. And then I purchased a Roxy Floss linen to try that. So this is 32 count Panettone. Yeah, linen from them, and I really do like it. I do. And yeah, we'll get back to that one at some point. Sad starts, but it's fine. So it is 1.3% complete, and I have just under 4,000 stitches left. Oh, and sorry, this is living in a bag that I got from a box, a black needle box, and the art here is from Erin of Autumn Lane Stitchery. Very cute. And second to last, penultimate start here. I am working my way through the Polar Plunge series from Hands On Design. I have completed Polar Bear Peak previously, and I started Whale Hello There in December. Yeah, these are small, these are adorable. I have the whole finishing pack. I got big visions, but again, alas, there are 6 of these in the series and I have 1 stitched. So this, I am using the called for Classic Colorworks again. And oh yeah, there's the polar bear. But here's my start on the whale. Very cute. So I started this on December 18th, so not even a month ago. I am 37.4% complete, and I have 657 stitches remaining, so no big deal. No big deal. I can knock him out, but I love the polar bear so much. I love him. I love Arctic animals. It was a good year. It was good eating for Arctic animals this past year. And this is on the called for linen, which I believe is Polar Plunge. Yeah, 32 count Polar Plunge linen by Fabrics by Stephanie. I love it. I love it. And this is living in another B&S Nice List bag. It's Polar Express themed. Okay, and last but not least, I snuck in a little Christmas Eve start. I was gonna do it Christmas Day, but you know, things are like, starts kind of take a little bit of focus. So I was like, let me just do it the night before. And I'm glad I did. And this was something I'd been looking forward to all year, and I finally got to start it. And it is the First Day of Christmas Partridge in Pear from Satsuma Street. This is a perforated paper ornament. So I have the kit. She is released through day 5 up to this point. So I own all of those, and I want to stitch them all and have them all. So here is my partridge. So I am 45% complete, and I have 670 stitches left. So both of these little December starts, honestly, I should just knock out. And yeah, this is the kit perforated paper, which is 14 count. And I love it so much. I am thrilled for this. And then yeah, last bag. So the nice list box this year, which I just finished opening in my holo vlogs. We got a set of 3 project bags. And so this was the medium size one of all the friends going to the cross stitch shop. I love it. Yay! Okay, that is it. That is where we're at. I have a lot of things. I love all of them, which I think is a great sign, right? When you go back through all these and you think like, dang it, I want that done. It's a good problem to have, as you know, I'm sure we will listen to all the floss tubers saying where it's like, oh, I should get back to that. I should get back to that. But yeah, I have to get this show on the road, so I will not belabor the point too long here, but it has been a lovely year of stitching. And such a special year, getting to meet so many people in person and have people see what I was working on in person. But I will be filming a finish parade because I had 60 finishes in 2024. And I had 65 starts, which is pretty wild and not planned and very hilarious, because at the beginning of the year I was like, 24 starts in 2024, these people are crazy. You know, 65. So I need to stop. In the finish parade, I will have more of the breakdown of my stats, I guess. I don't know, like I don't want to lock you into feeling like you have to like listen to all this. So okay, let me do my little top line numbers here, and if you want to hear more numbers, you can come on back. How about that? How does that sound for you? Okay, so I'll just read a couple of top line numbers for you, and if you want to hear some more, we'll do that. So I stitched a total of 161,789 stitches in 2024, which is kind of crazy. I worked on 81 unique projects, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of rank what I spent the most days stitching on. So I spent 50 days stitching on Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I spent 41 days stitching on Dinosaur Forest by Alforest Embroidery, both 2 really big finishes for me this year. I spent 35 days on Felicity the Lobster by Emily Peacock. I spent 33 days on Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. And rounding it out at number 5 was my grandpa's chart that I just finished in December and just showed in my last floss tube. I spent 20 days stitching his chart, doing 200 stitches a day. So very interesting to see that. So yeah, like I said, I had 65 starts, 60 finishes, and 37 fully finished objects. That is truly staggering to me of all these numbers. I didn't think I had it in me. And my stitchiest month was July with 19,245 stitches. So I think that is most, and my lowest stitchy month was January 2024 with 8,159 stitches. So, okay, there we go. I have to jet, but I am so grateful that you're here. Hopefully, if this is your first time with me, maybe you stick around for another video or 2. Maybe you got a little bit enabled. Yeah, we got other exciting stuff. So the finish parade will be coming. I've talked about this plans video so much. I don't even know if I can say that I'm going to do it anymore. Y'all are just not going to believe me.
3 days later.
Surprise! I am back in a new orientation. Welcome to my top of my monitor here. So I'm gonna try filming this section like a cool little streamer. I got OBS installed. I've played around with this before. That was me just double checking my microphone. So we're gonna give this a shot today and see how it goes. The camera is like very high on my eye line, so I don't feel that I will probably keep good eye contact as we go through this, but that's okay. Hopefully you're looking at the screen more anyway. Yeah, I can't believe this. Okay, so here we are in the plan section of the video. I don't know why I've stalled on this so badly, but whatever. We're here now. We're gonna make it happen. We're making dreams come true, and hopefully this is somewhat interesting. If not, you're welcome to leave. Okay, let's get to web browsing here. So, and then actually let me move myself here. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, so here is my Notion. You're probably familiar. If you're not, this is a template I purchased from Stitchy, one of the brightest minds in our community. I gotta give it to her. This is amazing. I have certainly not made as many customizations as some other folks. It's a little intimidating to me, but I have made a few, and I try to do Natty's updates when she pushes them to us. But anyway, that's kind of neither here nor there. So, number one, we're not even going to look at this actually. Well, okay, I guess we can look at this, but I actually have cute graphics. So, for 2025, the first thing that I know I want to do is I'm going to have 2 WIP Go boards. Last year was my first year doing WIP Go, and it went really well. I did not do works in progress. I focused on fully finishing things that were already stitched, and then I also had for like small ornament sized series that I've been working on, those I put on there as starts just to kind of keep them moving. And so those were on the board as well. And so I'm going to be repeating that this year. It was pretty successful. I did everything on the board except for 2. There are 2 fully finishes that I skipped. And so I'm hoping to do those this year. But so we'll go to that first. So this year I am fully calling it my Sofogo board for start and fully finished object board. But this is not the cutest to look at, so I tried to be cool and get Canva going. So here is my Sofogo board. So I won't take you through everything on here, but basically if it does not specify start, then it is a fully finish. And then in the cases of where it's like the small series, like the Swedish Neat Bells, I have like Swedish Neat Bells start right here. And then I also have like Swedish Neat Bells finish on the end. So this is what we're looking at. And to be honest with you, this is a little bit scarier to me than it was last year. There's some really big finishes on here. I have Twisted Rainbow, you might see in the second row. I have Dinosaur Forest, which if you have been around, maybe those are familiar to you. If this is your first time catching me, maybe I could pull pictures up. I don't know. I'm not sure. I was like, I could be throwing up. I could be holding up stuff, but yeah, Twisted Rainbow. Maybe I'll like pop pictures over and post, who knows. But anyway, my Twisted Rainbow sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework, my Dinosaur Forest. A lot of these, I just don't know how I want to finish them. And so that is what is scary to me. I think last year it was a lot of smaller stuff that it just felt a lot less intimidating. But there's some big frames in here. And like Clue House, that was a piece that was by Forbidden Fiber Co. And maybe I'll have a picture up. That was a Halloween box of theirs last year, I believe. Or I don't know if it was Halloween necessarily. No, I think it was. I think it was September-y that we got that. And I have a Clue board that I have purchased. So I have this like interesting idea that maybe will not execute well, but I want to somehow mount it on that board, but also have it be in a way that it can collapse down. So that's going to be a really unique one, hopefully. Stars Hollow. That is a huge, it's like 193 wide. Wait, not 193. Sorry. It's like 300 something wide. It's like 95 plus 95 plus 95 plus 95. That wide. So that's a really wide one. And I think I want to try to do a flat finish that's floating inside a frame. I got a lot of ideas, but not for all of them. Certainly not for all of them. So I will show you, since it is fully January now. I do have the January calls, so we'll look at this here. So luckily, we are starting the year off pretty easy. I have Winchester House and Silver Bells. And Winchester House, let's see if I'm like cool enough to be able to pull up a photo of this. I'm not always 100% great about having having photos of stuff here, but yeah, let's just take a look if we can. Oh yeah, here we go. The Clue House. So if I go, I'm gonna change how I name my Stitchy pages in the future, but okay, yeah, look at this. Okay, so here's my Clue House we were just talking about. Love that. Okay, Winchester House. Here we go. Yay me. Okay. So Winchester House was the first call, and I think for this one, I do know what I want to do with this. Michelle Bendy is the designer of this chart. This is not a finished photo. Love that for me. It's not a finished photo. Wait. Hold on. Does it go farther? I thought if you go to the very bottom, that's the most. Oh, well, you get the idea. Imagine this filled in. That's so funny. Did I not put my last day of stitching in here? Whatever. Michelle has said, the designer has said that she wanted it to be like a postcard, like you went to this place and got a postcard. So very basic. I think I would like this to be a flat fold, which I have not done. I've done some flat finishes, but not a flat fold, because I think it'd be cute to set up like a card is the story there. So that is that one. And then my next call for this month is Silver Bells by Lindy Stitches, which does have a complete photo. Yay, amazing. So this is this one. And the model is on a pillow, which I don't dislike. But you know, it's kind of the conundrum of like 1,000 pillows, but where do they go? So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do with this one. Maybe it's pretty small. It's relatively square. So there's a possibility that maybe I want to maybe I could do a little like doorknob hanger. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I already don't know what I want to do with this. So that is kind of my biggest fear with my Sofogo, if you will. Is how to finish some of these and just acquiring the materials for some of them, because I mean, like, I know I want Twisted Rainbow framed, so that's just gonna cost money at some point. And similar with like Deadly Aquarium, I don't have anything that fits that. Stars Hollow is gonna take a big frame. Dino Force is gonna take a frame. Yeah, so I am a little scared of this, but we're gonna try our best. And like I said, we got pretty low hanging fruit for the first call this month. You'll see I did go all in. I do not have a free space, which time will tell how I feel about that decision later. But yeah, so this is board number 1. And then board number 2 is an idea that I have seen some other floss tubers take part in, not my idea, but I am basically having a friend WIP go. So this one is closer to actual WIP go in that it will be working on works in progress. So I have everybody's handles here, plus like some friends and family in my life. And they're gonna call for me. which is crazy. So shout out to everyone who agreed to do this. I really appreciate you. And so for January, our calls were Michaela of Cinematic Stitches and Cam of Cam the Stitcher. And so for them, I was trying to think of a way to like conveniently share with folks like what I have going on. So what I ended up doing, goodness, this is so silly, but I ended up making a PowerPoint. So here's my PowerPoint. And so when folks get called, they will get sent this. And shout out to Michaela and Cam for being like the guinea pigs. They had to wait on me to like make this. So it walks them through. So basically they have to pick a project, and then I have photos with stats of all of my stuff that is currently ongoing. So they have an idea. And if I have any specific like goals that I want to reach, that kind of thing. And I had mentioned previously that I was maybe considering like having them roll a die, and if they got to a certain number, like maybe they could request a start or something like that, but it didn't really like come to fruition in my mind. And honestly, I think it would give me anxiety to like have this potentiality of someone picking some big start, and I didn't have like a pool of kits that I was ready to. Anyway, it didn't work out. That's fine. So what I have done instead, because I think having an element of surprise and rolling the die is fun, I am going to have them roll a die. And that is going to correspond to the number of stitches that I have to put into the piece that month. So with 1 being 100, 2 is 200, up to 2,000 stitches if they roll a 20. So, and I have a link here for an online one. I know a lot of us are goobs with dice, 20-sided dice lying around, but if you don't, that is something that you can easily use online. So this is it. And actually, Partridge and Pear is no longer a WIP. I finished it yesterday. But so yeah, I think basically every month before, like when it gets called, I'll update these if there's any major progress or, you know, new photos I need to put in. I will do that. And then people will know what is going on. So I'll put this back up. So yeah, this is kind of the vibe. And I think it'll be fun. Again, shout out to everyone. I did reach out to everyone beforehand and get their consent to participate in this. And I think it will be a grand old time. So that is kind of the overarching like WIP Go plans. And then yeah. So now beyond that, I have my boards. So for January, I mentioned that I had my 2 pieces, and maybe let's see if I can pull up something interesting enough to see here. We could take a look at them. So the 2 pieces that I was supposed to have finished last year, but I didn't. Oh, okay, this one I finished before I was really in Notion, but is Autumn Colors by Bendy Stitchy Designs. And then the other one is, oh yeah, one of the Witch's Pantry collection. Here we go. I think I have photos of this. Maybe. Yeah, I got my eyes on you. So this is a 3-part series by Hands On Design that I'm making into ornaments, and I have one made into an ornament. This one's fully stitched, and so this was also supposed to be done, and it's not, obviously. So I'm hoping to go like whole hog in January and do both of these and do both of my called fors that we went over. So that will be something. But I think what is exciting and what is going to motivate me to like keep going on this is this will almost completely knock down finishes that are not fully finished for me. There are a number of starts here. Oh yeah, I'm like Stitch for Pride. I don't know what I want to do with that one yet. Oh my gosh. But you can see in my Notion, I have 26 projects right now that are finished and not fully finished. So this board will get rid of all of the ones that I'm kind of scared to do, and the ones that aren't on there are pretty easy. Like the Strawberries in Summer mini cat here. It's I did that quickly as part of Marjorie's Strawberry MoonsSAL. It's like very small. I think I can pop that in the journal. This mini cat should be done anyway. And then I have like 2 perforated paper things. Like National Safe Toys and Gifts Month. I know how I'm supposed to finish that. I just need to do it. So like I think this will be good because the stuff that is things I would finish, like I know I called this one low hanging fruit, but the even lower hanging fruit, the stuff that like just needs to get glued into a journal or has a specific finish that I have all the materials for and I've done multiple times, like Celebrate All Year, those are not on here. But I should just do those because I found last year that I was very motivated by doing my WIP Go calls. I would like tend to kind of tack some extra stuff on. Okay, so I've gone on about that enough. So, to the WIPs then. So, I have a couple of SALs that I fizzled out on. One of those being the Arctic Friends SAL from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Let's see if I have a good photo of where I was at last. Yeah, so here's this. This is still an active SAL. They are still releasing parts. There will be one this month, February and March. And my goal is to have this caught up by March for the last drop so I can finish on time. I think that's doable, but this now has to become a focus piece. So January, February, this is a focus piece until I get this out. I'm thinking of making it my 200 stitches a day project, but I honestly don't know if 200 stitches a day is going to be enough at this point. I'm quite behind, so we'll see. But we're going to start with 200 stitches a day, see how it goes. And then beyond that, every month I am going to pick a SAL piece from these other remaining SALs. So the other SALs I failed on, one of these was the Celebrate All Year Stitch Along, which was a 12-part release of different monthly holidays and observances. So like, for example, I have January's here. So they're all 57 by 57 circular. And I mean, I did pretty dang good. Like of the 13 that were released, there's only 2 that I didn't do. So every month I'm going to pick an outstanding SAL and like work on that for that month and hopefully knock out a piece or a work. So for example, I only worked 2 days on this one. I got almost nothing done on it. You could see. So yeah, so I don't know if this will be my pick for this month, but every month I'm hoping to work on an outstanding SAL from last year because this year I'm taking my Salbatical and I'm not joining a bunch of SALs. So, which of course asterisk. Everything is asterisks. It's all fun and games, right? We just like to think about these things. So that is one SAL. So that will occupy 2 months because it'll be one month I'll do September and then 1 month I will do the November piece that I didn't even start. So it's not even a WIP right now. The other one that I fully failed on was the Monster House SAL by Satsuma Street. Of course, I didn't put a photo in here. Sometimes I get too lazy to put the photos in. How about here? How are we looking? Okay, so this is a little bit behind where I am, but that's fine. So as you can see, I am healthily on part 1 here. So since it was released in parts, it was released in 6 parts. And honestly, I think she only gave 2 weeks per part. So if I give myself a month per part, I think that will be fine. And as long as I get to it before, start doing that before August, I'll be fine. So that's the other SAL piece that pieces I'd like to catch up on. And then the other one that I kind of have like a specific goal with is Jack's Stamp Collection by Katie Landis. This one is a companion piece to Santa's Stamp Collection, which she released a couple years ago as a SAL. This one was just released all together. But I liked the way that I approached it as a SAL, and so I'm kind of doing that again. So this is going to be, Julie, I'm co-opting this again, my hashtag Motif a Week project. I feel, the stamps are independent. I'm really stretching the idea of motif a week here, but that's okay because I know Julie will accept me for where I'm at. um, so this one has 20 or 31 stamps because there are 31 days in October. And it has a bunch of like filigree and it says Jack Stamp Collection at the top. So my goal right now, I was looking at it to finish this by October 1st, which would be awesome. I need about 330 something stitches a week, so I'm rounding that up to 350. So if I do 350 stitches a week on this, it should be done by October 1, which would be awesome because I know how I want to finish this. I have, Santa stamp collection finished. And so, yeah, it will be great. So it can hang up during the Halloween season, and then I can swap. It's a swappable display, so I can swap for Santa. So yeah, I think my plan of attack just for my own sanity is every week I'm going to do a stamp outline, and then I'm going to go up in the top and work up there until I hit my 350 and kind of do that back and forth until I like having all the outlines. It's very satisfying to fill them in. So it will be much closer to motif a week once I start filling these in. Because I think when I did this with Santa's stamp collection, I think I needed to do like 150 stitches a week or something like that to meet my goal. And I very often like blew past that because when you're filling the stamps, it's very satisfying to want to fill them up. So I feel like I will hopefully end up kind of ahead of schedule on this one if it goes like Santa's did. Yeah. So those are the kind of weekly and monthly things. I sort of I told myself I didn't want to do that, like have a bunch of weekly and monthly things, but alas. And then oh Walter. So my Heaven and Earth Designs chart. So this is the other one. I'm going to be honest with you. I needed to stop stalling on this plans video. I think I need some kind of monthly stitch goal for this, but I don't know what, because I want it to be something that is possible. But I'm not crafting gaming Jamie, and so putting 4,000 stitches on this a month is not going to be possible for me. There's no way. So I have not really decided what markers I'm going for this, because I mean, part of me is like, I don't really want this to take me 10 years to do, but I am well on track to do that because it is sitting at 4.8% complete and it was started in 2022. So, yeah, time is slipping. So I've not figured out, but I think having it be a monthly goal as opposed to a weekly goal or a daily goal is going to bring me a lot more success. So that I do know. I know wherever I land, I want it to be a monthly goal, because then, yeah, you can just kind of knock it out and then I can go on like longer breaks before having to come back to it. Because I like it. I want it. I still do want it. But holy cow, 200 colors. What was I thinking? Yeah, so that is that. Let's see what else I have on my notes here. Okay, and then next up I have just like generally WIPs I want finished in 2025, which honestly a better point of view is what do I not want in 2025. So I'm sitting at 21 WIPs. If you watched my WIP parade, I had 22 5 seconds ago. But yeah, I'm filming this a couple days later. So Partridge in a Pear is done. Actually, it's sitting right here. Look, you can get a little sneak peek. Here she is. So we love that. Yeah, so this is done. So we're down to 21 WIPs. Amazing. I basically want every single thing done on here with the exception of 4. So Heaven and Earth Designs, we know that's not happening this year. The next one that's not happening is my full coverage leap day start here. That is a custom of my cat. And again, this is not the most recent photo. Who knows how that happened. But yeah, this thing is like 47,000 stitches. It's fine. Or I have 47,000 stitches remaining. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. 47,825 stitches remaining. Approximately. I am like, counting this with a clicker as I go. So obviously my count is not maybe as accurate. But to the best of my knowledge, there's a ton left. But this was a leap day start in 2024. So I think, so I was like, hypothetically, it should be at like 25% by end of February this year if we're hoping to get it done by next leap year. So something to consider, because currently I have it at 1.2%. Tackling these bigger projects is going to be a new dimension, like a new challenge for me, because I've just not really had these kind of big projects that are just going to take a while before. I was looking back over my, the past couple of years of stitching, and my dimensions have just kind of gotten bigger and bigger, like over the, like 2021, 2022, 2023, almost all of my projects were like under 100 by 100. There was like an occasional one that would be out there that was maybe like, Dark Queen of the Earth or like something like that. But everything else was like under 100 by 100. And so even if they were like heavy full coverage, you could still just kind of bust it out if you really like focused. These pieces are bigger. We're in another league now. And so I think it will be an interesting year of growth to see how it is that I want to handle these. But yeah, so I'm not going to get that one done. The other one I'm not going to get done is Autumn Night Alphabet, by Al Forrest. I don't know. I think in my, of course I don't have a photo of it. But I do need to remember that you all just saw this in the WIP parade. In the WIP parade, I said that it was like 300 something tall. No, it's 432 tall. It's 262 by 432. So let's all just calm down. So that's not going to get done. And then lastly, Witch's Hollow and yes, this is a typo, but they made the typo. When they originally printed this chart, it was an A and now it's an O, but that's fine. Witch's Hollow is also not going to get done. No way. So yeah, which is 140 by 196. I have 20,000 stitches remaining on that. So those are the 4 that I do not plan to get done in the year 2025. Everything else, I'm ready for it to go. And that is quite a bit of stitches. But I think we can do it, because so I am going lower start in an effort, not so much to like, it's not that I want to whip down. I think I probably phrased it this way in the WIP parade. So I'm sorry, it's been a couple days for me, but it's not so much that I want to whip down. I just want new whips. And not in like a bad way, but I just like, I don't know. I want to have these whips as finishes. I love them and I want to get new whips. So that is like the place where I'm coming from. And so on top of that, that is where I kind of fell into the idea of doing a pattern no buy for 2025. It is January 9th, so I have officially made it 1 week without buying a pattern. That's one down. It's gonna be hard, I think. But I'm starting a list of things I want to buy, because again, it's not really that I'm coming so much from a like financial perspective with this. It's just I have so many things that I want badly to stitch, that I want to stitch them, and I can't get to it if I get sucked up in stitch alongs and things like that just eat up my stitchy time. But speaking of stitch alongs, so I know I said I was doing a sabbatical, but again, this is not coming from a place of like I want to whip down or I must have less. I just like want to focus on what I have. So I did buy the Stitch for Pride 2025 stitch along, and I think I'm gonna start it. I had given myself like a one free space basically. So I am planning on doing that. And then beyond the Stitch for Pride 2025 SAL, I'm thinking that in order to like earn a new start, I am going to do 2 finishes to 1 start. And then to start a second SAL, because we'll see about Lola Crow. I know several people who are doing like low starts and low SALs this year, are still like absolutely making a carve out for Lola Crow, which I love for them. But a lot of people have done all 3 SALs. I've only done the Deadly Aquarium last year. So I will have to kind of suss out like if I want to do this year's or not. I'm not 100% tied to it because that was a ton of work. Her SALs are no joke. That is like, my Deadly Aquarium was like 18,000 stitches. So it's like, okay, I could have knocked out Witch's Hollow if I was stitching 1,000 stitches a week on it. So that is a big one to think about. So to earn that start or another SAL, I am gonna say, don't hold me to this, I changed my mind, but I'm gonna say it's a 4-to-1 for a new SAL. 4 finishes to 1 SAL start. Which we'll see. We'll see how it goes. These are just things I'm putting out there. I know we like to just yap. And I think, okay, yeah, so let me go through my notes here. Yeah, show 2025 board, blah, blah, blah. WIPs I want finished. Hashtag motif a week on Jax. We talked about that. Existing SALs. Oh, yeah. I guess I will say, in reference to this board, you might be like, Tara, how are you going to finish your own board if you can't do starts? These don't count. It's my board, my rules, right? And my WIPs, my rules. So these little series, when they get called, I'm not applying the same like 2 finishes to 1 start. These are scheduled, they're small, it's all good. So yeah, that we're existing SALs and series don't have the same 2-to-1 start. So yeah, and when I say existing SALs, I meant that more so for the November piece of the Celebrate All Year SAL, because that will technically be like a new start because it is a different, every month was a different small. But I'm not going to count that as a strike against my starts because I'm trying to finish a SAL, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, other than that, like organization wise, it would be fun to get a little braver in Notion here, but we'll see about that. But what I would like to do is finally get all of my patterns uploaded, my paper patterns. I think it'd be really nice, especially if I could get photos of everything that's in booklets, because I think that's really hard to remember everything. I have my binder of my digital stuff. So I have, ignore my hands-on designs finishing here. I have, if you are new to me, I just recently finished this project. Well, finished. I still have a few more to add here, but I made little cards, little info sheets with all printout photos of all the digital patterns I have. So when I want to buy something, I can come to this store because I got patterns. I got patterns that I have not stitched. A lot of them, in fact. So this is what I'm going to try to get motivated with, is to work on these. If I am craving a new start, because I got lots of stuff. And some of these don't even capture like the kitted paper stuff that I got in boxes. So anyway, that is it. We're just coming from a place of wanting to focus on what we have. I just realized maybe it would be nicer for me to be full screen here. I just want to focus on what I have and like getting the stuff that I have had sitting in a bag that I've wanted to start. I'm really excited about. I think it was very eye-opening that at the end of 2023, there was the like video game sampler by Screaming Heart X Stitch, I think. And I was like, I'm definitely starting that next year. I love this so much. Love it. Let's do it. And here we are in 2025. And I didn't start it because there wasn't a good place for it. And I think where a lot of my stitches are getting eaten up is in SALs. So I must be brave. I must be strong. To get to what I have, I must shun that which is ahead of me. No, just kidding. But anyway, I know this is all fun and games. We're all just having a good time here. Like I said, who knows how this will play out in actuality, but we have put this into the universe now. These are things that, these are, as Marjorie would say, my hopes and dreams for myself. And a lot of it is a little squishy, but we got boards, we got some plans, and we have lots of friends to hopefully support us. Even though Elizabeth and Stephanie are already trying to undermine me and get me on their little bobble board. Which maybe that'll be a 2026 plan for me. Who knows? But okay. Thank you so much. This has now probably made my WIP parade like 2 hours. I'm so sorry. But I think it makes more sense attaching it to the WIPs and like what we're going to do with those moving forward than attaching it to my finishes. Yeah. So hopefully this was like a usable format. I'm really nervous that I'm going to cut this off and it's not going to save the way that I wanted it to, but we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you are new, if you found me via my WIP parade, I hope you stick around to see how these plans turn out, because I'm sure curious too. I'm sure curious too. Yeah, wishing everyone a safe and happy start to their new year here, even though we're 9 days in at this point, but it's still New Year's season, I think. So my tree isn't down yet, I'll tell you. I like to keep it up through most of January, but anyway, stop waffling now. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you got some good stitching in, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks, everyone.